Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the RationalInvestor.com's Daily Brief Recap. It is Friday, TGIF. It is the end of the first week of June, 4th of June. Here we are, marching through the quarter. Actually, we'll be coming to the end of this second quarter here in a few weeks. What can we say? Tax deadlines, all that kind of stuff out of the way. Now heading full on into the second half of the year. I think a lot of the fluff, actually, maybe not second half, coming up to the end of the first half. Let's put it that way. So probably a bunch of position squaring still to do in the market heading into that end of June. Keep in mind tax loss selling is actually ending for Australians here at the end of this month, so they still have incentive to sell stuff here. Of course, we've got such a funny backdrop of risk on, risk off. Fugazi kind of crazy. Fugazi crazy. And who are you supposed to believe in this world? Did spend a lot of time with the community today, talking a little bit about sort of expectations going forward. I gave, I think, about 3 or 4 different ideas. I do like the idea, just generally speaking, of the market bottoming sometime through this month of June. I wouldn't be surprised if there's 1 or 2 FU moves still to go. And of course, we're also heading into a weekend here. So I did notice last weekend they really pumped the crypto's gonna crash in like the paid, the basically the paid for media. I don't even know if you even call them media anymore. Paid for barking talking heads, I guess. I don't know. And yet that crash just never happened. I don't see anybody talking about crash here now, so get ready. This weekend might be a little bit surprising, folks. It's not really like we're in a really dangerous sort of crash level, but it is kind of like we're in an environment where prices come up an awfully long way. We're sort of halfway through the correction phase. And, you get what ends up happening is you get a lot of people who sort of bottom pick and say, this is the bottom, all right, this is it. Then they put up like stop levels and stuff. And, I used to work with a guy years ago who used to say, instead of like buying a W and putting your stop loss below the W, maybe put your order to buy where your stop loss order is. And actually, even in the day trader room this morning, we saw that because there really wasn't any new news, liquidity was very light. You could see them, the 1%, the jerks, whoever you want to call them, invisible hand, composite man, as we've heard some people refer to Wyckoff's sort of, market manipulator type person. You put your buy order at the stop loss level, and you often get fantastic results. It's so irritating; it drives you crazy. So, we had the U.S. dollar index itself perk up overnight. A lot of position squaring ahead of a big U.S. employment report number. They say that the employment report number disappointed, but frankly speaking, I thought the employment report was very healthy. Canadian market lost a big whack of jobs. So just the fact that the Americans are adding to their payrolls got to be a good sign. But the problem there, of course, is that those reports are heavily subject to revision, so they're constantly being revised. So we'll see how it goes. Market on that release, and the employment report wasn't that bad. I believe that sort of risk came back into the market. U.S. dollar index sort of ripping higher here. I think a lot of people were just like, we got a position square, just square everything up, get me out of risk. I don't know what this employment report's going to be like. Could be really ugly, and then we'll go from there. So, beep, the employment report comes out first thing this morning. The initial knee-jerk reaction is, well, the U.S. economy isn't falling off a cliff, so everything's relatively okay. Let's take our money out of U.S. dollars and go and buy euros and Canadian dollars and golds and oils and frozen concentrated orange juice, which is actually something that we looked at in the daily brief today, which I think actually looks very buyable down here. And, like lumber has gone 10x. Frozen concentrated orange juice is still sitting at that base price that lumber started its run at. And ironically enough, lumber and frozen concentrated orange juice are actually in the same category of commodities. They're called softs. Why? I have no idea. But anyway. So in the complex, lumber would always be right underneath frozen concentrated orange juice for me. So, and I'm also hearing too that coffee prices, they're getting ready to ramp coffee prices up to fuckers. So, we've actually enjoyed nice cheap coffee prices. I got a funny feeling coffee is about to go through the roof here. I know. It's interesting. You could see on this particular chart, good old Brian's technical analysis 101. Obviously, that didn't play out. And they just keep taking this damn risk market higher and higher and higher. And the interesting thing is, it's not so much the small caps today. It's kind of like, the bigger names. Of course, everybody loves to hate people like Bezos and Gates and all that, and Zuckerberg. But you can see they're definitely getting the money today. NASDAQ up a good 1.5%. Brick and mortar, old school, up a third of a percent. So your net sort of end of the day move. S&Ps are up 0.75%. It's not a huge move. Really, we wouldn't really pay attention until we see at least like a 2% move. What's interesting about the options is I think they would ideally... I don't have the information here. But I think they would ideally like to take the S&Ps out at around 320. So even right now as we speak, I think they're about 2 points higher than what they really want them out here at the end of the day. So you can see heaviest open interest. Yeah, look at that. So they got 44,000 contracts there. So that's, you can see if they take the SPY out below this level, right, say like 419.99, all of these call options all expire worthless. I don't know, that would definitely be in Wall Street's best interest. How about the put side? There's 420, so you can see 27,000. If they can take the market out at like say 419.99 or even 420.01, whatever, then all of these options all expire worthless. That's a hell of a lot of options. And notice above, right, there's 421. Look at, there's nothing up here. And then on the other side, right, the calls, below 420, look at it, just disappears. It's nothing. So, like I said, what does that mean? I mean, with the index right now sitting as this, the SPY, that's the futures. Where do I have? I guess I don't have SPY on here. Boom. Cute little double bottoms coming in here on a lot of stocks right now. Can you step in and start accumulating here? That's up to you and your plan, I suppose. So here we are, 421.87. I actually think by the end of the day, this thing should come down about $1.50 here. If it finished around 420, like I said, that would make Wall Street happiest. So we'll see. If they do close the market out up top here, it will mean that Wall Street's going to get exercised on a lot of selling. And the public will be buying a lot of stuff up here. So I do find that interesting. But my hunch is that, I mean, no point in getting into the job or the game of predicting, but I think that we've gone maybe a little too far here. Well, we'll see what happens. Doesn't really matter. There's not a trade there to be done. So more just sort of what the hell do you see happening today? Your list. So we talked a little U.S. dollar. U.S. stocks and sort of risk up against top end of his range. Still think there's a lot of incentive for them to cool this thing down a bit. Look at oil. Just fucking steaming higher here. No reason whatsoever in this world for crude to be $69 a barrel. I mean, fucking half of the world's shut down because of COVID. So it just goes to show what a joke this pricing mechanism is, eh? Totally manipulated, totally controlled. Free capitalism, yeah, my ass. Anyway, it is what it is. Pointing higher. Ironically enough, now you're actually having OPEC and all the cartels now are coming out saying, "Oh no, it's too expensive. The high price is too high." Give me a break. Anyway, I mean, if the sooner you can get out of this sort of crazy ass oil world, probably the better. And how ironic, right? I mean, all the companies are abandoning this industry. Why is this oil price as high as it is? I mean, it makes no sense. Other than, oh, well, actually, the currency itself is worthless. Uh-oh, don't say that. Emperor's new clothes. Bitcoin 300,000. Arr! Willy woo! Anyway. Bonds? I'm not a fan of bonds. Don't think I'll be a fan of bonds for quite some time. I do think that you could enjoy a little bit of a counter-trend rally here. And actually, you know, the U.S. bond market looks tough. I mean, look at that gap lower, right? All this rally is today is just a rally to fill in that gap. So I don't know whether you can even believe that. I mean, if they just keep printing money, I don't know how the hell this thing can stay up. If we go through these lows here, that 150, 55, 56 area there, oh man, all hell's going to break loose here on the U.S. interest rate market. And because it's so levered and the Fed has come out and said, we will support the economy, blah, 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 blah. My hunch is the Fed is not going to let that happen. But if it did happen, oh boy, that'll really change the landscape. So you know what? I'm going to put like a magic line on the sand. And I'm going to say, you know, if you see this market below this level, then we have some major problems for the bull. And it'll be interesting to go check in on that bond king guy, man. He must be just dying 1,000 deaths here. Because these things, I mean, I do not buy a bond here. It's just asking for trouble. Mind you, I don't want to give you investment advice, so I'm just going to simply say you do with your money as you please. I don't care. I'm not going to be buying any bonds here. Simple as that. This is not financial advice. Don't construe any of this as it is edutainment. The gold market. Kevin was sort of walking us through recently. We kind of were thinking this was like market symmetry. You can kind of see, and I've talked to you guys about this before. It sort of looks like a big honking head and shoulders is going to try and form here. So we're in the latter stages. We've only got about that much more left to go here. So maybe another push up here. Then a pullback probably against this trend line. And then if there's a W, then maybe we can think something. And that's like, you know, August, September. I do like that thinking. Right here in the short term, though, you know, I did have some bids to try and buy some gold and silver. The goddamn stocks just took off. So I didn't get any fills. So I think I probably missed the majority of the long side of this trade. And if anything, I think I just got to cool my jets. Also, too, I was telling the site people it's going to be very hard for gold and silver to continue rallying, while oil here is pushing and pressing higher. This oil market looks like it wants to go up to the better part of $100 a barrel, cocksuckers. It's such a scam. Small caps versus big caps. We did have the trend line break. Straight line up off the break. Would like to see a W. A lot of little ones look exactly like this. We're getting like violent pops off the bottom I went and bought like a nickel stock today, put in a W. As soon as the W came in, I was like, Kevin! He's like, what? What the fuck do you want? God damn it. But he and I have been watching this one nickel stock, so anyway, I don't know whether he bought any or not, but when I said I was going to buy some, so I mean, you tell me. Look at that chart. Is that not the coolest looking chart you've ever seen? Oh yeah, so he said he bought some too. Now they're going to take the damn breakout back, the bastards. But it looked good to me earlier today. I got nice W's coming in on OBV, nice W's on RSI, even a divergence there. I actually did buy some here at like I think 13 a week, a month or so ago, and then on this double bottom here, I was like, oh, I got to go get some more. So I went and bought. I might be a chump, I don't know, but it's not a bad looking story. Looks pretty good. Anyway, we'll see what happens. Only time will tell. And of course, Brian, I never put too much money at risk on any one trade. So, if it does go belly up, shit happens. It's just another trade. Look at those bonds rallying there, eh? So they must have really liked that. Now, this got me scratching my head a little bit. Bonds rallying and stocks rallying? What the hell? So, I don't know. Something's not right about this picture here. Like, I like to follow this image. I do find it kind of interesting how gold really has outperformed its other risk-off brethren. And Bitcoin here has dramatically underperformed its risk-on brethren here. So, I don't know. Something funny going on with the gold and the Bitcoin right now. Maybe it's sort of a flattening, a squarening. I don't know what the hell you'd call it. Does look like that relationship's trying to check itself a little bit. Everything's pointing up. Up. The only thing that's pointing down is Bitcoin. What the fuck? Something's a bit suspicious there. This also kind of speaks also too, I've noticed this about Bitcoin recently, is the correlation between Bitcoin price and the US dollar index is very, very high. So I'm wondering whether, people believe that a good portion of the US dollar value itself is part of that Bitcoin story. It wouldn't surprise me that we actually find down the road that one of the ways that they're going to validate the value of this fiat currency proxy base, right, the hegemony base, is the fact that a huge chunk of the Bitcoin network is pegged to the US dollar index. That wouldn't surprise me at all. I am finding that there is some sort of correlation between US dollar and Bitcoin. I'm seeing it more and more and more. But, that's just crazy, Brian. Lots of little ones. I mean, look at this. Is one of our shitcoin 5000s. What the fuck are you doing going and trying to W out here today? That's not supposed to be happening. And look, we got little like Davo signals, multiple W signals coming in on the indicators across the board. I don't even know whether that Davo guy even likes that kind of signal anymore. Maybe we should, and I've asked the community, maybe we should rename that something else, because I get the impression he does not use that anymore. And I used to call this one setup an LJ. And then I talked to the girl that we named it after, and she goes, oh, well, I don't use that setup anymore. It's like, well, I don't know. Crazy, Brian. Should never get into the habit of naming these after people. I thought it was a good idea, but probably not. Anyway, point of the matter is there are some fun little names out there, even in crypto. In stock market, showed you a double bottom there, crypto, and actually the other market that I'm very interested in right now is, as I said, I think I mentioned this to you, I would be very interested in something like, the problem is you got to know what the hell the damn symbol is. OJ? I don't want July, though. I want, say, November. Yeah, something like this. You tell me, is that got any potential to move up here? If, actually, it's probably not the best chart for you to look at. Let's try that different route. We'll just do a spot. What I need for you to see is that. So, that's up at 230. Our low here is 90. So you can see it's basically pulled back into reload zones here. And if I look at, say, something like a monthly chart, So this is going back into 1970s, but you could make the argument something like frozen concentrated orange juice. There's 1980 right there, right? I mean, you could argue that's probably a half decent mean. And price is basically sitting right around that level. I mean, yeah, okay, fine. It's a little bit higher. There we go. Up there, right? Okay, so that was the price 1982. I don't know whether you've seen what they did to lumber market here recently. Check this out. So, there's 1982, right? And there was us, just a year or so ago, still sitting 1982 prices, and all of a sudden, kaboom. So you tell me, is it worth maybe thinking about picking up an orange juice call option? I mean, if it goes 10x, just like lumber's. No, I mean, why did lumber go 10x? I mean, lumber's lumber. There's 10x, right? That'd be 1200. That'd be up there. Same move. I mean, maybe go pick up like a $500 call option. You could probably get it for nothing. That would be like a typical Wall Street bets kind of thing, right? You pay nothing for this call because it's a million miles out of the money. But if you get that insane lumber move, this might buy you a fucking mansion. You never know in this crazy world. You want a fun story about frozen concentrated orange juice? Go watch a movie called Trading Places with Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy and the Dukes. And that was all about them cornering the frozen concentrated orange juice market. So there's food for thought for you. Gave you a stock, gave you a cryptocurrency. Actually, there's a few of them bottoming that I was buying. And here's a commodity. Oh, hey, you got a whole bunch of different stuff to chew on here today. Okay, gonna leave the rant at that. I got 20 minutes to get my act together. Gonna go hiking in the local mountains here today with a couple crypto OGs. One crypto OG, you know what? It was so cool. This is a picture going back to 2015. This is how long I've been talking to you guys. In fact, actually, I was in this space for a year or two, even here. And it'd be really interesting to go through and see where some of these people are now. I bet you they're gazillion bazillionaires if they stuck around. There's Alex Sturck, my buddy from Ubik. This was a presentation we did in Decontrol back 2015. But one of the guys that was there, he and I are actually going to go on a nice hike here, Aaron. And Aaron's got a fun... he's a principal of a couple of these local cryptocurrencies, so, he's kind of a cool guy I like. And he said that he met Alex at that meeting. And, jeez, I can't even find it now. Anyway, so he and I are going to go off traipsing around the bush. There he is, Aaron. So wish us luck. He's a really, really nice guy. One of the founder dudes of the Pinkcoin, the AID people. He's like one of those type of people. He's actually in crypto for the good reasons. So he and I are going to go climb a mountain with another OG, Andrew, here today, part of Colin's Pump Chaser group. So wish us luck. PMA for the win. Don't take no wooden nickels. And if I'm not around for broiler chickens on Sunday, it means I'm still stuck halfway up a mountain somewhere. So, have yourselves a great day. All the best, and bye for now.